Rain poured relentlessly, drumming on the slick pavement as Claire adjusted her hood and glanced at her phone. Midnight had passed hours ago, and the streets were eerily empty. Her rideshare app showed one last available driver in the area. Victor, 4.8 stars, black sedan. She was exhausted, cold, and just wanted to get home. Without thinking twice, she booked it. Moments later, headlights pierced the darkness, a black car gliding up to the curb. She opened the back door and slipped inside, her soaked jacket squeaking against the leather seat. "Claire?" the driver asked in a low, gravelly voice. She nodded. "Yeah, that's me." He didn't say another word, just pulled away from the curb. At first, Claire was too tired to notice anything unusual. The steady hum of the engine and the rhythmic tapping of rain against the windows almost lulled her to sleep. Streetlights flickered by, casting brief flashes of pale light across the driver's face. He was older than she expected, maybe in his 50s, with a thick beard and a cap pulled low. She pulled out her phone to check her messages, but frowned when she saw no service in the corner of the screen. "Figures," she muttered, tossing it back into her bag. The driver's eyes met hers briefly in the rearview mirror. His stare was intense, unblinking. Claire forced a polite smile and looked out the window, trying to ignore the knot forming in her stomach. Minutes passed, and she realized she didn't recognize the route. The buildings grew sparse, replaced by long stretches of empty road flanked by dense woods. This doesn't look like the way home," she said, leaning forward. The driver's eyes flicked to the mirror. "Shortcut," he said flatly. "Right?" she murmured, sitting back. Her pulse quickened. She tried opening the rideshare app to check the map, but her phone still showed no service. She glanced at the door. Her stomach turned cold. There were no interior handles. "What the hell?" she whispered. Her breath grew shallow. She forced herself to stay calm. "Can you maybe take me back to Main Street?" "I'll get out there." The driver didn't answer. His hands gripped the steering wheel tightly, knuckles pale. "Sir," she tried again, her voice shaking slightly. Still nothing. Claire's heart pounded as she scanned the car, searching for something she could use, a tool, a weapon, anything. Her eyes landed on an umbrella on the floor near her feet. She bent down slowly to grab it. The driver suddenly spoke. "You're not like the others." Claire froze, her fingers trembling around the umbrella's handle. Excuse me?" she whispered. The driver's lips curled into a faint smile. The others never noticed. They were always so busy. On their phones? Headphones in. No one ever noticed where we were going, till it was too late. Claire's blood ran cold. Where are we going?" she asked, her voice barely a whisper. His smile widened in the mirror. "Back to where I found them." The car slowed as it turned off the paved road onto a dirt path. The rain was heavier here, pounding on the windshield as the wipers squeaked back and forth. The trees grew dense on either side, their branches arching overhead like skeletal hands. Claire's breaths came fast and shallow. She gripped the umbrella tightly, her knuckles white. The headlights illuminated something ahead. A wooden sign, so weathered, she could barely read it. Black Hollow Cemetery, closed. Rows of crooked wooden crosses appeared on either side of the dirt road. Some were broken, others covered in moss. The car crept forward, its tires crunching on gravel and mud. Claire's heart slammed against her ribs. "Please, let me out," she begged, her voice cracking. The driver's expression in the mirror was calm, almost serene. "You don't want to see this part?" Tears welled in her eyes. "Please," he didn't slow down. Claire's instincts screamed at her to fight. She raised the umbrella and, with every ounce of strength, swung it forward, smashing it into the side of his face. The driver let out a guttural roar, jerking the wheel. The car swerved violently, skidding off the dirt path and slamming into a tree. The airbags exploded, filling the car with a deafening bang and the acrid smell of chemicals. Claire's head rang from the impact, but adrenaline pushed her forward. She kicked at the door until the lock snapped and stumbled out into the pouring rain. Her vision blurred as she ran through the cemetery, the muddy ground sucking at her shoes. Behind her, she heard the car door slam and the sound of heavy footsteps splashing through puddles. "Claire," he bellowed, his voice echoing through the trees. She ducked behind a large headstone, her breaths ragged and loud in her own ears. She could hear him moving, searching. "You can't run," he called. "This place swallows people whole." She clamped a hand over her mouth, tears mixing with the rain. Her fingers brushed against something sharp near the headstone, a broken piece of metal fence. She gripped it tightly, holding her breath as his footsteps drew closer. Through the downpour, she saw him, his silhouette illuminated by the flickering headlights of the crashed car. He was limping, blood streaking down his face, but his smile was wider than ever. "There you are," he whispered. Claire waited until he was close, then lunged, slashing the piece of metal across his arm. He screamed, stumbling backward. She took the chance to run, crashing through the underbrush until she found herself back on the dirt road. Headlights appeared in the distance, a truck barreling down the road. Claire ran into the middle, waving her arms frantically. The truck screeched to a halt. A park ranger jumped out, flashlight in hand. "Ma'am, are you okay?" She pointed back toward the cemetery, sobbing. He's trying to kill me." The ranger grabbed his radio, calling for backup. 2 more officers soon arrived. Together, they searched the woods. They found the car. They found blood. But the driver was gone. Claire sat wrapped in a blanket in the back of the ranger's truck, trembling as they questioned her. "You're lucky," one officer said grimly. "This isn't the first time someone's gone missing around here. We've been investigating for years, but we've never found him." Claire looked back out the window, staring at the dark forest where he had vanished. In the distance, she swore she saw him. A figure standing perfectly still among the trees, watching the flashing police lights. She blinked and he was gone. That night, Claire went home alive, but she never took a rideshare again. And in Black Hollow Cemetery, under the weight of the rain, fresh footprints still led away from the road.